The time has come once again for the big finale. Minus the S23 Ultra, but that's not my fault because it hasn't been released yet. Regardless, the S22 Ultra is a great phone and will be more than suitable for competing against the newest flagship of Google, the Pixel 7 Pro, and the also newly released Apple flagship, the iPhone 14 Pro. As you probably have gotten used to by now, it will be a camera battle lasting over 12 categories, but there can only be one winner. Unless two phones are tied for first place, but we don't talk about that here. This video is sponsored by Casetify, a company that creates super durable and stylish phone cases. Let the facts speak. Alright guys, I'm just gonna quickly ask you to ignore the purple stain you see on me in some of the photos because at first glance, I thought it was a bug on the newly released Pixel when I realized the other two phones were also sometimes struggling with my sweater. Since the majority of the photos are fine, let's focus on them for the sake of this comparison. The Pixel 7 Pro has similar specifics to the 6 Pro, with it still being the phone that gives the most importance to keeping things natural. The S22 Ultra has higher contrast with live colors, while the iPhone sits comfortably in the middle. The reason I love comparing these three old rivals is that, disregarding rare circumstances, they are often close to each other in image quality while being completely different, and that's just not something you see often. You can check the first two photos again closely if you'd like to have more proof for yourself, but this photo should be enough. A bit brighter and warmer photo by the iPhone, the most detailed with a cooler photo by the Pixel, and by cooler, I'm obviously talking about white balance, and a higher contrast with darker shadows by the Galaxy. Some of you could be thinking how the Pixel isn't outright winning this because of how the iPhone and Galaxy lose some detail around my face, and that's because 1. This doesn't happen consistently, and 2. The photos being cooler do sometimes take life away from the colors, like in this photo. It all boils down to preference in the end, but in instances like this frame, I prefer the iPhone, then the Galaxy, because the lack of bright and lively colors does need some computational brightness to make the photo appealing, in my opinion. The last detail that I will mention is that there seems to be quite a bit of tricks with the depth of field in the Pixel's photos, similar to the Xiaomi 12S Ultra, as in, you often see blur in the background when the subject is close to the camera. Time to time, this also happens on the iPhone and the Galaxy, but not as often and consistently as the Pixel. I really enjoyed the time we spent taking footage with three of the highest quality phones out there in the market right now, and all I have to say is that I can't wait for the S23 Ultra to be released so that we can give you the ultimate comparison. 3 points all across the board as we get off to a great start, and it's important to keep it going with the secondary camera that these expensive flagships have, called the ultra-wide camera. A cool bluish photo on the S22 Ultra quickly catches my attention on the first shot, as Samsung and Google look to be similar in the second one by being darker than Apple, who, if you focus on me, has managed to preserve the details better. Third photo was just a nice shot all around, as all devices showcase the big differences between the ultra-wide cameras of different phones, while the fourth photo has me looking as tall as Michael Jordan on the iPhone, which obviously makes sense. What do you mean why? Because it's an American brand and we're right in front of the NBA store. Unfortunately, the Galaxy's contrast is turned upwards again, as it is pretty dark compared to the Pixel in this one. Besides the Michael Jordan photo, I do think that the iPhone has a pretty good ultra-wide camera, and the Pixel is close to that level. Those two will take 1 extra point in this section, as portrait is up next. I was worried here before we even started. The reason you ask? Well, the Pixel 6 Pro's portrait mode was pretty awful. I had to wrestle with it for a long time, and it kinda gave me trauma, which is why I'm happy to see that they have improved this mode in the 7 series. Still, it in no way compares to the iPhone, or the Galaxy for that matter. I almost had you there, didn't I? I guess I can say the same for the Pixel because I quite like how these photos look on a small phone screen compared to the 4K monitor back at the office. While I have given a tie for this category in previous videos when both the iPhone and the Galaxy were involved, there have been also times where Apple has just been more consistent overall with their software. But let's take a short break. Since so many of you liked our first demonstration, we have decided to bless you with another one. Drop test galore, guys, sponsored by Casetify. Come with me outside. So we just can't say no to you guys. Everybody knows how exciting drop tests are, and this with the iPhone 14 Pro is gonna be drop test number 2. We're also gonna be doing it for you guys in slow motion. Now it's time to rumble. All right. That was actually a perfect drop because it just bounced all over the case. And yep, nothing wrong with the screen again. The case isn't even scratched. That's what I like about this case. Like, it's got these bouncy parts and it just absorbs all the shock. So the camera bump looks fine. There's not even scratches on the letters of the case, so that's definitely a positive, but I especially like how the phone is completely protected. Nothing wrong with the screen at all, no scratches. And let's just check it out here. Yeah, that looks to be in order. Everything looks to be working. Well, that was quite a bit of adrenaline, but I put my trust in these cases, and so should you. They have a wide variety of different designs and styles and are specifically made for protection against any kind of terrain with their EcoShock technology that absorbs the impact to keep the phone safe. MagSafe compatibility is another bonus, and the Ultra Impact case can handle drops from up to 11.5 feet, which translates to 3.5 meters. Check out their premium cases from the link below right before we get back to our camera comparison. So before our drop test, I mentioned Apple's consistency with their software. This video supports my claims, as a couple of shots from the S22 Ultra were too dark, meaning they will come in second place after the 14 Pro. Apple is slightly in the lead, and if we were to pause the video right here, there's a good chance of that lead increasing with the difference in quality hitting you instantly. This is coming from someone that isn't impressed with the consistency of the 14 series when we're talking about video, but even then, it still looks sharper and more detailed than the Galaxy and the Pixel. This is no doubt frustrating for both companies, since Apple pretty much has a stronghold on videos, and this also encompasses videos shot with the ultra-wide camera. We've also included the praised cinematic mode of the iPhone for you to take a look, as both the new Pixel and the Galaxy have this mode. Samsung has done a decent job, but I can't say the same for Google, and hopefully they do improve this mode later on. The S22 Ultra's 8K is not doing it any favors, as Apple unsurprisingly outperforms once again in the video category, and Samsung comes in second with similar quality to Google, but better performance in the cinematic mode as well as having 8K. The video section continues with the stabilization mode, and it's kind of funny because whenever these three companies went against each other, Google's active stabilization took the other two down without a fight. The problem we have, or rather Google has, is Apple with its new stabilization technology that allows it to record very stable footage in 2.8K resolution. Even though Google's stabilization is great, it's only 1080p, and that will give them second place, as Samsung is left empty-handed, but they will be standing up once again as we delve into the optical zooms of these phones. If this category is of interest to you, I highly recommend you to research the zoom of the Pixel, because it works in mysterious ways by combining the telephoto lens with the main one in the first few levels. Super Res Zoom showcases the quality of Google's footage, as it is definitely better than the iPhone, but not quite better than the Galaxy because of its pesky 10x optical zoom, always giving it the advantage in zoom comparisons. The S22 Ultra takes the crown here, as it gets even closer to the 14 Pro that couldn't even get a single point. The gap could have lessened even more if only Apple hadn't improved their front camera. Not only did they include autofocus, which wasn't present in the 13 series, their video algorithm being superior is gonna show up even here. When I end up getting close to the camera, which is kind of the most important part of a selfie cam, the focus of the Pixel isn't the best, and there are a lot of artifacts and noise on the Galaxy, so they do kind of balance each other out as Apple takes the front camera category. You should also be aware that Google has finally added a macro mode to their newest flagship. I'll be honest, I was scared that it would underperform hard. I haven't really seen good results on the majority of the phones that aren't Apple or Samsung devices, But Google came in extremely clutch. The Pixel is similar to the Galaxy, but with better detail and also better colors. It can't get as close as the iPhone, but once again, it's just more consistent. This could definitely be an outlier, but it seems that Google has actually pulled something crazy out of the bag, as in this video, they will take macro, with Apple taking one valuable point for second place. So, something weird happened here. The first videos were all supposed to be 240 frames per second, so can someone tell me why the iPhone's footage is faster than the other two? Apparently, it bugged, and this has happened to other people before. The video on the left was only 180 frames per second. The second video shows off the 960 frames per second slow motion of the S22 Ultra, as they take 2 more points here, with the Pixel taking 1 point for not bugging out like the iPhone. I added that as a joke because everyone knows iPhones have the least amount of bugs, so I have no idea what happened here. But autofocus is fine as usual. The Pixel was ever so slightly slower a couple of times, but the quality is there, and there weren't any errors or circumstances where the phone failed to recognize my face, as all of them get 2 points.
So this video might be extremely dope, but it might also be the dopest of them all. Because in this video, it's going to be the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra while we wait for the release of the S23 Ultra, the brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it's definitely been one of the best performing phones in our videos, and our newest gem, I know I say this in every video, but we just keep getting new phones, the Google Pixel 7 Pro.
Go back and check out how hard it is to pick out the words on the iPhone because of the lack of noise cancelling. The Galaxy does do a better job here, as the Pixel also has decent noise cancelling, but I kinda like the audio quality of the Galaxy a bit more, which leaves Google tied with Apple here for second place and 1 point, with the last category being night. Samsung is often one of the best at nighttime photos, unless they have the Xiaomi 12S Ultra with the 1-inch sensor against them, but that's another story. The Pixel is decent, sometimes it takes the best singular photo, like the third one here with the attention to the light, but it's just inconsistent overall compared to the Galaxy, and I'm also not a big fan of the iPhone over-sharpening its photos at night. It's fair to say that between these three, especially when the ultra-wide camera is taken into account, Samsung is a step ahead because their flagship is able to preserve the natural scene a bit better. For videos, Apple is just the best all around. I really can't wait until a company figures out something to unseat Apple from this position, but I'm honestly not holding my breath, as their videos are just too good to be true. They will share this category with Samsung, who won the night photos, as Google comes in behind them. Well, our amazing camera comparison has come to an end. The results were extremely close as usual with these three giants, as the newcomer, who will most likely get better with updates, takes third with 18 points. Second place was also super close for comfort, but in the end, it will be the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra taking that spot with 20 points, and first place will go to the improved iPhone 14 Pro with 22 points. Stuff like an improved stabilization was able to give Apple the win, whereas normally they never get points from some minor areas like this one. We'll have to see what Samsung will do with the S23 Ultra, but until then, subscribe to the channel and like this video to give us a helping hand. See you around.